কুঞ্জ বিহারী গোপীজন বল্লভ গিরিবরধারী গোপীজন বল্লভ গিরিবরধারী যশোদানন্দন ব্রজজন রঞ্জন যশোদানন্দন ব্রজজন রঞ্জন যমুনা তীর বনচারী যমুনা তীর বনচারী জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে জয় রাধা গিরিধারী রাধে জয় জগন্নাথ জয় বলদেব জয় সুভদ্রা জয় গৌরনিতাই জয় গৌরনিতাই জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় জয় গুরুদেব জয় জয় গুরুদেব নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল। হরে কৃষ্ণ প্রভুজি, ধন্যবাদ প্রণাম।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am now sharing the screen for
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Oboe voiced his concern for these conditions in his back to Godhead. Could the poor eat the nuts and bolts produced in the factories? Could they be nourished by cinemas, televisions, or sex songs on the radio? The leaders were unable to see that abandoning spiritual principle had led to the very ills they officially abhorred: a decadent, rebellious youth, corruptions in every area of civic life, and even economic inability and scarcity. When Avoy had been a youth in Calcutta, there had been no cinema billboards advertising lurid sexual fantasies. But now India had developed the third largest movie industry in the world, and the film advertisement were all over Delhi. Beef shops and liquor shops had sprung up. The newspaper regularly ran editorial deploring the degradation of the young Indian boys who teased, insulted, and affronted women on the street. The women's leagues complained about increased juvenile promiscuity and the obscene treatment of women in the films and advertisements. But there were no upright brahmanas or sagely administrators to do anything about it. Oboy saw the need for a re-spiritualization of society. But society was rushing the headlong in the opposite direction. In February, even as Oboy was trying to publish his Back to Godhead, Prime Minister Nehru, while speaking with the concern of India's crisis of the spirit, simultaneously launched another 5-year plan for rapid industrialization. Everyone, from the Prime Minister down to the common man, was concerned about the symptomatic problems, but no one seemed to understand that the real problem was the lack of God consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 4, chapter 22, and verse number 7. Pritur Uvacha Aho Acharitam. So I'll just try to put that on the screen so that you can have a look. I think it is this one. Yeah, it's the one. Pritur Uvacha Aho Acharitam Kim Me Mangalam Mangalayanaha Yasya Vo Darshanam Hyasa Asit Durdarshanam Chayogibihi Priturvacha Aho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalayanaha Yasya Vo Darshanam Hyasid Durdarshanam Chayogibihi Priturvacha Aho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalayanaha Yasya Vo Darshanam Hyasid Durdarshanam Chayogibihi Priturvacha Aho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalayanaha Yasya Vo Darshanam Hyasid Durdarshanam Chayogibihi Priturvacha Aho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalayanaha Yasya Vo Darshanam Hyasid Durdarshanam Chayogibihi Priturvacha Aho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalayanaha Yasya Vo Darshanam Hyasid Durdarshanam Chayogibihi. So devotees, if you want to read the verse.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Rituruvacha Aho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalanayaka Yashovo Darshanam Vivashi Dudarshanam Cha Yogibi.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I am trying.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Prithurubacho Oho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalayanaha Yashavo Darshanam Hiyashi Durdarshanam Cha Yogivi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prithuruvacha Aho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalayana Yasya Vo Darshanam Hyasit Durdarshanam Cha Yogibi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Pranam. I am also
Hare
trying.
Krishna. Pranam. Hare Krishna. Please.
Prithur Ubacha Aho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalayanaha Yashobo Darshanam Hi Ashid Durdarshanam Cha Yogivihi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
May I
Krishna.
try, please?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, continue.
Prithurvacha अहो आचरितं किं मे मङ्गलं मङ्गलायन यस्यावो दर्शनं हि असीत् दूरदर्शनां च योगिभिः. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'll try.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Kirtida Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam. Pithurvacha aho charitam kim me mangalam mangalayena yasya darshanam hi ashid durdarshanam cha yogi bhi. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Prithuruvacha aho acharitam kim me mangalam mangalayana yasya bodarsanam hi asid durdasanam cha yogibhi. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you all the devotees. So we'll have someone can read the synonyms, and then we'll have the translation and the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So someone can read the synonyms.
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam, Prabhu. Prithu Uvacha, King Prithu spoke, Aho, O Lord, Acharitam, practice, Kim, what? Me, by me, Mangalam, good fortune, Mangala Ayanaha, O personified good fortune, Yasya, by which, Vaha, your, Darshanam, audience, he, certainly, Asit, became possible, Durdarshanam, visible with great difficulty, Cha, also, Yogi by great mystic yogis. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. And then we'll have the translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Someone can read the
Yes.
translation.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I can read.
Yes, ma'am.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Ki jai.
King Prithu spoke, my dear great sages, auspiciousness personified, it is very difficult for even the mystic yogis to see you. Indeed, you are very rarely seen. I do not know what kind of pious activity I performed for you to grace me by appearing before me without difficulty. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So I don't have the purport. Someone can read the purport. I don't have it on the screen.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Purport by Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Something uncommon happens in one's progressive spiritual life, it should be understood to be incurred by Agyata Shukriti or pious activities beyond one's knowledge. To see personally the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his pure devotee is not an ordinary incident. When such things happen, they should be understood to be caused by previous pious activity as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7:28. Yasham tu antagatam papam jnanam punna karmanam. One who is completely freed from all the resultant actions of sinful activity and who is absorbed only in pious activities can engage in devotional service. Although Prithu Maharaj's life was full of pious activities, he was wondering how his audience with the Kumaras happened. He could not imagine what kind of pious activity he had performed. This is the sign of humility on the part of King Prithu, whose life was so full of pious activity that even Lord Vishnu came to see him and predicted that the Kumaras would also come. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vanchikalpakatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So this is a very nice verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we know that before this, what actually happened is, of course, all of you know, we have been hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every morning. So what had happened before this? What are some of the things which happened before this verse actually that we are hearing from Prithu Maharaj?
Four
Yes.
stars came down from the heavenly planet. Siddhalok.
Yeah, all the sorry. Yes, Prabhu.
4 Kumaras came down.
Yeah. The 4 Kumaras are coming down from the heaven, higher planets, of course, Satyalok.
Siddhalok.
And then before that, what happened? Before that, what were some of the things that happened before?
Prabhuji, before that, King Prithu was advising his citizens what they should do.
Very
instruction
nice.
Was giving nice instruction to his citizens.
Yeah. Prithu Maharaj was giving nice instructions to all the praja, the citizens of the country. And he spoke on different subject matters. He spoke about the importance of devotional service to the Lord. And he also spoke about the importance of devotees. He also said, Lord is actually accepting food. Of course, he can accept directly, but he can accept indirectly through the mouth of the
Brahmanas and Vaishnavas.
So he was talking about the importance of the Vaishnavas. Of course, Lord, he had taken darshan of the Lord. He had seen the Lord. Lord had gone. He saw the Lord face to face, and then the Lord left after that, and then he started giving instructions on the importance of devotional service to all the citizens of the country. And then now after that, all the Kumaras actually come. So here, the top devotees, the 4 Kumaras are coming down from the higher planets. Where do they live?
Tapalok.
Sorry?
Tapalok.
Yeah, so they live in the higher planets, and they are now coming down to where Prithu Maharaj was. And Prithu Maharaj was very, very happy. Actually, this katha is spoken by who? Who is speaking this pastime, this katha?
Maitreya Muni.
Yeah, Maitreya Muni. And Maitreya Muni has got special connection with the Kumaras. Very special connection. What is the connection between Maitreya Muni and the Kumaras? Very special connection.
Brothers?
Yes?
The brothers?
Not actually brothers. So we know that the 4 Kumaras, they like hearing. They speak about the Lord. They also hear. If you look at the Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll find that the 4 Kumaras would go and hear the Srimad Bhagavatam from whom? They come down through Ganga River, and they go down to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam from whom? Lord Shankarshan. Have you heard of this?
No.
Yeah, so they go down to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Lord Shankarshan. And then we know that the 4 Kumaras, what are the names of the 4 Kumaras? Anyone?
Sanak, Sanatan, Sananda, and Sanat Kumar.
Yeah, very nice. Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar, the 4 sanas. So they actually go down to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam from Lord Shankarshan. And they go through it's mentioned that they go through the Ganga River, which flows from the topmost planet down to the lowest. So, they accept we know that sometimes we have one guru accepting many disciples, but these four spiritual masters accepted a disciple whose name is, does anyone know the name of the person who was accepted as a disciple of the four Kumaras? Have you heard of Sankyayan Muni? Has anyone heard of Sankyayan Muni?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Sankyayan Muni. So he accepted this disciples, they accepted disciples Sankyayan Muni. And then Sankyayan Muni had two disciples, two great disciples whose names were Parasar and
Parashar Muni, Brihaspati.
Brihaspati. Parasar Muni and Brihaspati. And Parasar actually accepted, who as the disciple? Maitreya. Parasar also. So we have Maitreya Muni. Maitreya Muni's disciple, Guru. Of course, he also heard from the Lord. So his is Parasar, and Parasar's Guru is Sankyayan Muni. So Guru or disciple, spiritual master, grand spiritual master, and then great grand spiritual master is who?
Lord Shankar.
No. So
Bhakti.
spiritual master of Maitreya Muni is Vyas, the Parasar Muni. So that he's the spiritual master, and Parasar Muni's spiritual master is Sankyayan Muni. So that's the grand spiritual master, and his spiritual master is yes,
Kumaras.
Kumaras. So the great grand spiritual master, grand, is it? Yeah. So grand and great grand. So great grand. So Maitreya Muni's great grand spiritual master is who?
Kumaras.
Kumaras. Makes sense. The Kumaras, and then the next who?
Sankyayan, then Parashar Muni, then Maitreya Muni.
Maitreya Muni, correct. Yeah. So he's got great that connection with the Kumaras, and so Maitreya Muni is speaking this katha to whom?
Vidura.
Vidura, very happily and very enthusiastically is actually reciting this pastime, and so he's saying what actually Prithu Maharaj did when he actually received the four Kumaras. So Prithu Ruvacha, Prithu is speaking here, Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Ruvacha aho acharitam kimme. Acharitam. This is very, this word we always hear this word in connection with when we hear which verse we hear from the Bhagavad Gita, then we remember this word.
Jad acharita shrishta.
Correct. Yad acharati shrishtas tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Yes, there's acharan. Acharan means
Conduct or practice.
Yeah, conduct of practice or whatever good we do, whatever that others actually follow. So here, acharitam is saying what? Aho. So, oh Lord, Prabhupada writes, oh Lord. So acharitam, and he's actually referring to them that Mangalayanaha, Mangalayanaha. What's the meaning of Mangalayanaha? Mangalayanaha.
Auspiciousness came.
The auspiciousness personified. Mangal Murti, Mangalayana. So Mangalayana. So referring to them, oh Lord, you are all Mangalayana. You are actually good fortune personified. Mangaloki, Mangal Murti, Mangalayana. Aho acharitam kimme mangalam. What kind of acharan, good acharan that I did, what kind of auspicious activity I did, that I am getting darshan of Mangalayana. That I am giving, Sridhar Swami writes that Mangalayana is referring to whom?
Four Kumaras.
The four Kumaras, who are actually the Mangala Murti. They are the personification of auspiciousness. So he is referring to them. So I must have what I have done, what acharan, what good I have done, what kind of piety I have actually performed, that I am getting your darshan, the darshan of the four Kumaras. Yasya vo darshanam hi asid, by which I am getting darshan of you, because durdarshana cha yoginihi, because your darshan of such, like personalities is very rare even for
The yogis.
the great yogis. And we have examples of that in the scripture, that even yogis don't understand the devotees, which is the example that we can see very nicely mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes?
Durvasa Muni.
Ambarish Maharaj is.
Yeah, Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni actually could not understand. He could not even understand. Of course, he took darshan, but he did not actually recognize Ambarish Maharaj as a great devotee. So there are so many people who see the devotees, but for them, the devotees are just like an ordinary person. But devotees are not ordinary people, and they can only be recognized by one who has got that right kind of eyes to recognize the devotees. Just like to know the Lord, to see the Lord, you need the right kind of eyes, just like it's mentioned in the Brahma Samhita. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Yes, yam shama sundaram achintya guna sarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham
Bhajami.
bhajami. So you need the right kind of eyes to see the Lord, and you can, even the Lord was there, and a lot of people did not understand the Lord. At that time, a lot of people had seen the Lord. A lot of people had seen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a lot of people had seen Lord Ramachandra, but for them, he was just like an ordinary person. Even Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti Mam
Manushing Tonu Masrito.
Manushim. So even the, at that time, a lot of people did not understand Lord Krishna. And if it was between choosing Krishna and his army, Duryodhana chose not Krishna, but his army, because he did not recognize the importance of Krishna. He did not choose Krishna. Arjuna actually chose Krishna and not his army. So we can see that it is not in the scriptures. Also, we see that in the conversation between when the no yogendras are coming to see see who did they meet, and gave very nice instructions on the Bhagavad Dharma. Who was that? The Nimi Maharaj and the
Nava Yogendras.
No Yogendras. No Yogendras. The no Yogendras. No Yogendras when they go to meet this Kavi, Havir, Antariksha, Prabhu Piplayan, Avir Hotra, Chamas Karbaja, Chamas Drumil Karbajan. Those no Yogendras. Of course, they were sons of Navi Maharaj, Rishabdev. The no Yogendras were sons of Rishabdev. Of course, we know that what do you call the Manu Maharaj's son, Priyavrat had a son, Agnidra, and then Agnidra's son is Nabi's son is Rishabdev, and they are sons of Rishabdev. Manu, Priyavrat, Agnidra, and Nabhi, Rishabdev, and Rishabdev had, of course, how many sons did Rishabdev have?
100 sons.
100. So one from those 100 were the oldest one was who was the oldest one?
Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj. He became the king of the whole planet. And then there were other 99 of them, and 9 of them actually became great
Yogendra.
no
Navajogendra.
Yogendras. And then of course another how many? So Bharat Maharaj, and then another 81 of them actually became Karma Kandi Brahmanas. So 81 plus 9, and then 10 of them became Kshatriyas, and one of them is
Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat
Devotee.
Maharaj, oldest, and the 9 looked there after different directions of the universe. So those 9, when they were going to Nimi Maharaj, there's another verse mentioned, very nice verse, and very similar to this one here. It's mentioned that Durlabo Manusho Deho Dehinam Chanabhangura. Durlabam Manusho Deho. This body is very, very Dehinam embodied. For the embodied, this body, Dehinam Chanabhangura. This body is very, very, human body is very, very Durlab. Durlabo Manusho Deho Dehinam Chanabhangura. And one is, it is temporary, it is very rare to get, Durlab. And the other is Chanabhangura. Chanabhangura means?
Destroy?
It is temporary. It can go.
Temporary, it could be taken anytime. It could be
Easily
destroyed.
breakable.
Yes?
Easily breakable.
Yeah, it can easily be, taken away from us. It can easily be, destroyed. Chanabhangura. At any chan, at any moment, the body could be taken from us. So this body is temporary. So Durlabo Manusho Deho Dehinam Chanabhangura. But the more Durlab is, body is Durlab, human body is Durlab, but more Durlab is
Vaikuntha Priya Darshanam.
Vaikuntha Priyada. Tatrapi Durlabam Manye Vaikuntha Priya Darshanam. To take darshan of the one who is dear to Lord, Vaikuntha Priya, is even more Durlab. So getting a human body is Durlab already. But to get a darshan of devotee is even more rare. That's why there's a verse that that talks about the glories of the eyes. The eyes are meant for actually seeing the Lord and of course seeing the devotees. Nainana darshan nahi dekha, lochana mora pank kar lekha. Those eyes we don't see or take darshan of the Nainana santa darshan nahi dekha, lochana mora pank kar lekha. Those eyes we don't take darshan of the
Lord.
No, Lord, of course, and then here Santa darshan nahi dekha. Santa darshan nahi dekha. Lochana mora pank kar lekha. Those eyes we don't see the devotees. Their eyes are like
Peacock feathers.
peacock feathers. Those eyes which look, those peacock feather eyes, they look exactly like the eyes, the picture of the eyes. Beautiful eyes, but those eyes cannot actually see. So if we are not, using our eyes to take the darshan of the devotees, and of course Lord as well, because through devotees we can see the Lord, isn't it true? If we have through devotees we can take darshan of the Lord, and through Lord we can meet the devotees both ways. By Lord's mercy we can meet the devotees, which is it's mentioned that Satsangati, there's a Binu Satsanga Vivek na hoi Rama Kripa Vishwa. Without associating with devotees, we cannot get the Vivek. What is the meaning of Vivek? Binu Satsang Vivek na hoi. Vivek means the
Intelligent?
Discrimination to know
The
the
realized knowledge.
yeah, the real discriminating power, that knowledge which gives us the real discriminating power, what is right, what is not right, what is matter, what is spirit, what is to be done, what is not to be done, what is the purpose of life, what is the goal of life. That Vivek is lacking in this world, we know that. A lot of people are very intelligent, they've got, they go to the university, they get the medical degree, they go and get the engineering degree, they get all the good qualifications and they get all A's and A pluses. There are so many people who do medical here at the university, some of them get very good average before they get into the medical degree in the health sciences program. But if you think about their intelligence, you see them on a Saturday night, then you come to know how intelligent they are actually. Saturday night when you see them outside drunk and they don't have the right discriminating power. That Vivek is lacking because the Vivek comes only when we associate with the devotees. But a Rama Kripa Vinusulabhana Soib. But by Lord's mercy, one can get the darshan of the devotees. So see, we can see here, Lord had already mentioned that the Kumaras will be
coming.
Yeah. So Durlabham. So here, coming back to that verse, Nimi Maharaj and now Yogendras. So Nimi Maharaj is saying, of course, the conversation between Nimi Maharaj and now Yogendras. So that it is mentioned that Durlabha Manusho Durlabho Manusho Deho Dehinam Chana Bhangura Tatrapi Durlabha Manye Vaikunta Priya Darshana. So it's very even more rare to get darshan of the devotees. And so devotees, here we can see Prithu Maharaj. There's one thing common in Prithu Maharaj and the Kumaras. What is that common thing?
They are both pious, sinless.
They're both pious. Correct. They're both pious, both sinless. Anything else?
And devotees
And Saktavesh avatar.
Both of them are Saktavesh avatar. Both of them are empowered incarnations. One is empowered with the knowledge, the four Kumaras, and the other is empowered with
For king,
administration.
to rule the kingdom.
Yeah, ruling ability or the administrative power. So, so one is Adiraj Prithu Maharaj. So he's the one who has got that. He's empowered with the administrative power, the ruling power, and the other is other four Kumaras are also Saktavesh avatar, and they're also listed in the list of incarnations in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So they're both empowered incarnations. So one empowered incarnation meeting the other empowered incarnation. So Prithu Maharaj meeting them, and both of them have ruchi to the Harikatha. Both of them, like both Prithu Maharaj, what kind of benediction is wanting from the Lord? He wants to have
year of millions of years.
Why? Millions of years for why?
Hearing about the Lord. Glories.
Yeah, to hear about the Lord. So he's got so much ruchi, so much taste for hearing. He wants to hear, because hearing is very important. He wants to hear about the Lord. And we can see the four Kumaras also. They go to hear from Lord Sankarshan also, and then also they're great speakers of Bhagavatam. How do you know that they can speak Bhagavatam as well? In Padma Puran, it is mentioned that there's a katha in Padma Puran, and it's mentioned that there was Gyan and Vairag and Bhakti story. Have you heard of this? Bhakti and then Bhakti Devi had two sons, Gyan and Vairagya, and they became Jirna, they became old, and in Vrindavan actually. And then what happened to them? And then Bhakti Devi meets Naradji, and Naradji meets Bhakti Devi and says, what's wrong with your two sons? And Bhakti Devi is saying that, you look for some means by which they can get better. And then what Naradji does is Naradji is trying to think. Naradji gets a little bit bewildered for some time. And then Naradji meets the four Kumaras. We know that Naradji and the four Kumaras are
Brothers.
And then Naradji meets the four Kumaras, and Naradji says, about Bhakti Devi. Straight away, the four Kumaras says, you must, recite the Srimad Bhagavatam for them. And then who recites the Srimad Bhagavatam? Who recites?
Four Kumaras.
The four Kumaras. The four Kumaras recite the Srimad Bhagavatam for Bhakti Devi, for Gyan Vairagya, and also Naradji is hearing. Naradji, we know that Naradji is the one who is the spiritual master of Vyasdev, and he's the one who empowered him. You should write about the wonderful pastimes of the Lord, and you haven't sufficiently glorified the Lord. That's why you're not happy. And so that same Naradji is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the four Kumaras. So four Kumaras, they are great speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam, and they know Bhagavatam, and they also have taken darshan of the Lord, and Prithu Maharaj has also taken darshan of the Lord face to face, and so they are both great personalities, and they know the importance of devotees, and we can see here as soon as the four Kumaras come, he starts speaking about how fortunate he is that the fortune personified is actually coming to him to give darshan, and such darshan can only be attained after one has got that sufficient piety. This, of course, Prabhupada writes here, Agyat Sukriti. Of course, for him, he was already very great king, and in Saktavesh avatar of the Lord. And such darshan is actually durlabh, durdarshana. Darshana, not only the, what do you call, darsha, it's durdarshana. What's the meaning of that? With great difficulty. Sudurlabh, Sudarshana, no, but durdarshana, very great, very difficult for such darshan is even difficult for yogi. Just like we see Durvasa, as we mentioned, he could not actually recognize the greatness of Ambarish Maharaj. There's so many other examples in the scriptures. For example, we see that initially Rahugan actually did not, Rahugana, the king, he was a great king. He was seated on the chariot, but he did not actually recognize
Jad Bharat.
He did not recognize Jad Bharat. Correct. Jad Bharat. It's very hard to know the devotees. Devotees just cannot be just by just seeing them, you cannot recognize them. It's very hard because a lot of people actually saw Jad Bharat, and they were just thinking that he's just a foolish. That's why Jad is mentioned, Jad Bharat, just like a foolish person, one who is like a Jad, who doesn't have much knowledge. But we can see that he could understand. The Rahugan could understand when he started speaking. Isn't it true?
Yes.
When he started speaking, then he could know, yes, this is not an ordinary person. This is not actually some Jad person or who's meant to carry a palanquin. He is a great devotee. And then he started hearing from him. And we can see another example in the scriptures. For example, someone was just lying down, and then he was just on the floor, and lot of people actually did not recognize the great potency of such a person. But who was that person?
Rishabdev?
Hmm?
No. No,
Yeah, he's also one of them. And there's another person who was, and then he spoke to Yadu Maharaj.
Dattatreya Prabhu.
Dattatreya, correct, Dattatreya. So Dattatreya, and he was just, and Yadu Maharaj asked him, how can, I'm the king and I'm not, I've got everything. I've got queens, I've got kingdom, I've got my citizens who, obey me and give respect to me, everything. But still I can see that you are much, much more happier than me. I'm not happy. I've got everything, but I'm not happy. You have got nothing. You don't even have clothes on your body, but you're so happy. So how are you so happy? And then he starts speaking about the lessons that he had learned from the 24 spiritual masters. So he could recognize him. Sometimes it's very hard to recognize. Even Hanumanji, when he went to Ayodhya, sorry, not Ayodhya, Lanka, Ravan thought he's just some ordinary, he's just some ordinary monkey. He's some ordinary monkey. He's just some monkey and just like some ordinary monkey. But we can see that Vibhishan actually recognized. Vibhishan actually recognized, and Vibhishan, there's some very nice ways to mention that when Vibhishan saw Hanumanji, he said, Ab mohi bha bharosar Hanumanta, binu hari kripa milahi nahi santa. Now I have actually, I'm fully convinced that binu hari kripa milahi nahi santa. Without mercy of the Lord, one cannot get darshan of
devotees.
Devotees. And then, so there's very, very nice conversation between them. And also there is another conversation between Lankini and Hanumanji. Lankini, we know that Lankini was she was more like a door keeper. And Hanumanji goes there. Of course, Hanumanji goes, and there were a lot of things that he meets on the way. There's Sursa and all those things are all different personalities he meets on the way. And then he goes into he assumes a very small form and goes into Lanka. And there was one personality, one Rakshasi called Lankini. So Lankini was, what do you call? She said, any thief, anyone enters here is my ahar, is my food. Any thief who tries to enter this Lanka is my food. And then Hanumanji actually, punches Lankini, and then Lankini gains consciousness, and she starts understanding who this person is, and says, Tat more ati punya bahuta, that I must have done so much of piety that de kahu nayan Rama kara duta, that I am seeing the
Messenger from
Lord Ramachandra. I'm seeing the messenger of Lord Ramachandra, which means I must have done lot of punya, lot of pious activity. So it's one, the important things that we learned here from this verse is, one is that, so what are some of the things that we learn from this verse? Yes?
About pious activities, we need that punya to see the Lord's devotees.
Yeah, we need the right kind of punya to be able to see the devotees of the Lord. And Lord Krishna, Prabhupada actually also says about devotional service, even one should have that Esham Tantagatam Papam Jananam Punya Karmana Te Dvandan Mo Nirmukta Bhajante Mam Drirvata. So Prabhupada mentions that verse also, that when one is completely purified from the sinful reactions and has got enough piety, then one is able to perform engage in devotional service of the Lord. And so you need to have that kind of right kind of piety to be able to see the devotees of the Lord. Yes. Anything else?
It's rare to get human body.
It's rare to get human body, yes, and it's more rare to get what?
To see the Lord.
The darshan
Of the
Darshan of the devotees. It's rare to get human body, and it's more rare to get the darshan of the devotees. Because when you take darshan of the Lord, then you don't have to take darshan of this devotees. Then you will you don't have to take darshan of the material world. Because by their association, by their instructions, one can get freed from the cycle of birth and death. Yes. Anything else?
Yeah, we learned the Maitra Muni is the great disciple of, great grand disciple of Kumaras.
Yes, Maitra Muni is a great grand disciple of
Of
the
Kumaras.
Kumaras. Very nice. Kumaras, Sankhayan Muni, Parasar,
And
Maitri.
Maitra Muni, yeah.
So great grand disciple. Very nice.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And also we learned that four Kumaras also a great speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, the four Kumaras are great speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam. They actually in Padma Puran it's mentioned they spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to in for Bhakti Devi, Gyan Vairagya, and Narad
And
was also.
Narada Muni, yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, thank you. Yes, anything else? So here we can also see Prabhupada writes that Prithu Maharaj is actually not ordinary person, of course. He's the Saktivash avatar of the Lord. But here he is saying about his piety, I must have done it. And he was already, great personality. Prithu Maharaj was not an ordinary person. Why would he take darshan of the Lord? How would he get darshan of the Lord? So he's not an ordinary person. But he's saying this out of his
humility.
So a great, devotee never considers himself a great devotee. A great devotee is always thinking that, there are so many other great devotees, there's, I'm so fortunate that I'm getting darshan of other devotees. They don't never consider themselves to be great. Just like Prithu Maharaj here, out of his humility. Even when Hanumanji meets Bibhishan is saying that, look, I am, how will Lord ever actually think about me? Will ever I get a chance to meet the Lord and, will he ever think of me? Hanumanji is saying, look at me. I am of such a fallen monkey. I am monkey, not even in a human body. And if someone sees me on that particular day, they won't even get any food. I'm so it's so inauspicious even to see me, Hanumanji is saying. But if Lord even gave his mercy to me, that's how merciful the Lord is. Hanumanji is saying, and Hanumanji starts crying, when he starts glorifying the Lord. So this is humility actually. Hanumanji is such a great devotee of the Lord, but he is saying that he is so fallen. So here, this is humility of Prithu Maharaj. Yes, anything else? Or any questions if you have any? Yes, anyone? Any questions? Anyone? Or what else do you learn from this verse? Mangalam Mangalayana. And Aho Acharitam Kimme Prituruvacha Aho Acharitam Kimme Mangalam Mangalayanaha Yasya Vo Darshanam Yasit Durdarshanam Chayogi Bihi. Yes, anything else that you learned from?
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam.
Pranam.
That lesson is the heading is humility. Even though So great, great pious devotees, they never show their piousness to others. They just show it by their activity. Even though they are so much pious. And this is the example how Prithu Maharaj was accepting the four Kumaras in such a humble way.
Yeah,
A great teaching for all of us, all of
yeah,
the group.
correct. Yeah. How they greet the devotees very, very respectfully. And we can see also Prithu Maharaj is equally great, but Prithu Maharaj washes the feet of the
Four
uh,
Kumaras.
four Kumaras, and he puts the water on his head, So all these things we can also learn. This is the Vedic culture. This is also Atiti Satkar. We should treat everyone with so much respect. Amani na manadena kirtanya sadahari. Rinada pisunikyana tarora apisahishnana. Amani na manadena kirtanya sadahari. Staying amani but giving respect to others. Amani na manadena kirtanya sadahari. So we should give respect to everyone, but especially the devotees. We should give respect to the devotees. Even Lord Ramachandra, when he's speaking to Sabri, says, you should treat everyone equally. You should see, Saptama sabu mohima hai jagat dekhe, mote adik sant kari leke. So you should see me in everyone. But for the devotees, you should consider even more greater than me, Lord Ramachandra says. So that's how important the devotees are. And we can see the right kind of respect that Prithu Maharaj is giving. And that's, of course, the main thing is, when you associate with devotees, what is the main thing? Important thing? To hear from them is very important. That's very important. Jab bahu kal kari satsanga hoi tava sansay bhanga. So when we associate with the devotees again and again, then we get freed from all the sansay, all the doubts. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Anyone?
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji can continue. Mataji.
Prabhuji, we also learn humility from Bharat Maharaj.
Yeah, very nice, Mataji. From Bharat Maharaj as well. Yeah, he just was very, very humble, and he did not actually start glorifying himself. Look, I am such a great devotee. He never said that. Only when he started speaking, then Rahugana recognized him. Even even in the Bhagavad Gita, we see Lord Krishna. Arjuna is asking Krishna, what kind of people are these? Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava chita dhikim prabhasyata kim asita vrajata kim. Arjuna wants to know what are the symptoms of such a person. How does he speak? How does he walk? How does he sit? How does he deal with different situations? So it's important. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, Prabhuji, you wanted to say something.
Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your wonderful class as always, with so many examples from Ramayana and other scriptures, and as well as from other Puranas. So really enlightening to hear your class. So I was also thinking, you mentioned about that Lankini, that episode. It was very interesting. So I thought I should also realize that so-called, even when some devotee, we think that he or she is speaking harshly or behaving harshly, actually that also is a benefit to me. I think, some devotee is behaving harshly. No, but actually that also is a benefit. Like Hanuman gave a punch to her, but that actually gave a realization.
Yes, very nice.
I just thought,
even when Daksha,
the devotee always is beneficial.
Yeah.
Yes.
When Daksha had a good head,
Correct.
he couldn't understand about Lord Shiva. When his head was gone, when he got a head of the goat, then he understood.
Yes.
Sometimes such kinds of punishments are required.
Correct.
For us to get purified.
Yes.
And when everything is going on well, we don't understand everything. When things start going wrong,
Yes.
then we start understanding. That's why it says also Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. Have you heard of this? Jab
Yes,
sukh mein sumiran kare to dukh kahe koi. So people actually, when things are going on well, they don't understand things as they are. But when it's not going the way it should, then they understand. So sometimes, actually, those things are required. Sometimes we need those kind of things for our betterment, for our benefit, for our purification. Yes, thank you. Very nice point, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's time to finish or time to conclude. Mataji, Shama Devi Dasi Mataji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the very nice class and very informative and for us. Thank you once again for your nice class.
Thank you. Thank you, all the devotees. Thank you, Abhay Das Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Sarvashtra kripa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai. His Grace Madhav Govind Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to wonderful devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Hare.